We are starting a new lecture where we will review one of the most significant risks that is typical for the cryptocurrency sector: anonymity risk. Cryptocurrencies offer greater anonymity than traditional non-cash payment methods and are therefore more likely to be used for criminal purposes. This includes tax evasion, the evasion of international sanctions, and avoiding detection and identification by victims or law enforcement agencies. First of all, cryptocurrencies can be traded on the internet, typically through non-face-to-face customer relationships. But more importantly, cryptocurrencies might permit anonymous funding and transactions if the sender and the recipient are not adequately identified. Upon purchasing certain cryptocurrencies on an advanced exchange, money launderers can easily and anonymously layer funds between various digital currency exchanges, privacy coins, and crypto wallets that can belong to anyone. After several layers, money launderers can completely disrupt the audit trail, effectively cleaning illicit funds for integration back into the traditional financial system. Cryptocurrencies are often described as allowing for transactions to take place anonymously. For example, media frequently describe Bitcoin as anonymous and untraceable. This is oversimplified and inaccurate. Bitcoin is more appropriately described as pseudonymous. Bitcoin users are represented on the blockchain with alphanumeric addresses associated with their Bitcoin wallets. Whilst a user's actual identity is not visible on the blockchain, information about their transactions, such as dates, values, and the Bitcoin addresses of counterparties, are all recorded publicly. Because the blockchain is a chronological record of transactions, it is possible to derive a reliable picture of the movement of Bitcoins. Thus, where an individual or entity is known to be the owner of a Bitcoin address, substantial amounts of information can be obtained about their activity within the network. In addition, a number of private firms now specialize in developing tools that allow de-anonymizing Bitcoin transactions and analyzing illicit activity. These blockchain forensic companies provide solutions both to law enforcement agencies and to cryptocurrency exchanges, which can analyze customers' transactions. However, it has to be remarked that different cryptocurrencies present different levels of anonymity. It has to also be borne in mind that several technological means can further obfuscate the traceability of cryptocurrency transactions. These will be further reviewed in this lecture. Some cryptocurrencies are often termed privacy coins as they provide an extra level of anonymity. These would, for example, include Dash, Monero, and Zcash. Some of these cryptocurrencies have features which allow for the obfuscation of the address of both the sender and the recipient, as well as of the amount sent. For example, on the Zcash blockchain, recipient addresses and transaction details are either partially or fully shielded. In the first case, one party's address is visible, whilst the other's is hidden. Otherwise, information about the parties and their transaction details is not visible on the blockchain at all. This significantly increases anonymity and the risk that these cryptocurrencies may be used for illicit activities and money laundering. Any entity willing to be involved in transactions involving privacy coins may find itself to be running counter to the basic principle of the risk-based approach. The reason is that no mitigating measure can be applied to undo the anonymity or inability to trace transactions associated with some of the privacy coins. Mixers, also known as tumblers, are applications that aggregate crypto asset transactions involving numerous transacting parties, mix the crypto assets involved in the transactions together and redistribute them, and process the payments further. This is done to obscure the trail of value by breaking the link between the source and destination parties of each transaction. When crypto assets have been processed through a mixer, the digital ledger shows that a transaction was sent by one of many possible payers to one of many possible receivers. Some crypto assets achieve even greater anonymity through more complicated methods of mixing. Examples of mixing services are CoinJoin, Private Send, and Dark Wallet. The latter is a service that integrates mixing features into a user's Bitcoin wallet. Private Send is a decentralized service that mixes participating users' unspent Dash coins before executing a transaction. This is a schematic example of how coin mixers, also known as tumblers, work. Alice wants to send 1 Bitcoin to Bob. Carlos wants to send 2 Bitcoins to David. Neither wants the transaction to be tied to their addresses. As can be seen in this illustration, they send the Bitcoins to a centralized mixing service, which shuffles a pool of Bitcoins and sends different coins to Bob and David. The level of money laundering risk is significantly affected by the way the cryptocurrencies are stored. While understandable from a security perspective, the use of private wallets, especially when they allow for cold storage, increases the risk of money laundering. The same relates to the use of custodial wallets held with institutions that are not subject to any level of AML regulation or effective supervision. At the same time, the usage of custodial wallets held by institutions subject to adequate AML regulations and supervision decreases the risk. Such entities are obliged to identify and verify their customers, thus establishing the links between wallets and individual customers. The various types of wallets will be further reviewed in other lectures. Other technological means to increase anonymity include the use of VPNs and proxy servers, unverifiable IP addresses, disposable email addresses or mobile numbers and constantly changing devices, or encrypted blockchain-optimized smartphones. Launderers may adopt pseudonyms through encrypted email services such as ProtonMail or Hashmail, set up anonymous e-wallets, for example using Jaxx, Samurai, or Bitlo services, and run logless virtual private networks, such as Malvad or Windscribe. The usage of Tor can provide an extra level of anonymity. Short for the Onion Router, Tor is a free and open source software for enabling anonymous communications. It directs internet traffic in a way that conceals a user's location and activity from anyone conducting network surveillance or traffic analysis.